activists across the country focused on the state's new controversial voting rules. Marky Martin is live. And Marky, the governor put pen to paper today, as we said, and after months of back and forth between state lawmakers there.
So, Nicole, as of today, Texas officially joins that list of red states who have enacted voting laws in the name of security following the 2020 presidential election. And for us here, you know, this really ends months of political clashes, especially after, you remember back in July when all of those Democrats fled the state to break quorum and not give Republicans the number of votes they needed to pass this legislation. This is a sweeping overhaul bill. I want to break down some of these biggest highlights for you here. First and foremost, this bans drive-through voting. Secondly, it eliminates 24-hour early voting. Thirdly, it becomes a felony for any local officials to send out unsolicited mail-in ballot applications. And the last thing I want to touch on, too, it really gives partisan poll watchers more autonomy in the polling place, specifically allowing them to move about freely as they see fit. Now, all of this was really in direct response and a direct target to Houston. That is Harris County. It's our most populous county here. It carried Biden, and that county really enabled some of its own rules and regulations during the voting process because of the pandemic. However, today, during that signing ceremony, Governor Greg Abbott reiterating over and over again that SB 1 does not make it more challenging to send in your vote. Take a listen.
The Texas law, it does make it easier than ever before for anybody to go cast a ballot. It does also, however, make sure that it is harder for people to cheat at the ballot box in Texas.
So Texas is now among at least 18 other states who have enacted new voting restrictions following the 2020 presidential election. Former President Donald Trump still maintaining that that election was rigged, it was stolen, claims that have not been founded. And Nicole, this new law set to take effect beginning of December.
All right, so Marky, we've been covering the debate, the back and forth for months now. As I'd have to imagine there already has to be some legal backlash here.
Oh, absolutely. You know, opponents to this bill for months have been saying all that this does is erect really challenging hurdles to cast your ballot, specifically for minority groups and those with disabilities. And a lot of groups didn't even wait for today's signature. You know, just to list off a few, you have the American Civil Liberties Union, Texas Impact, the League of Women Voters of Texas, and Rev Up Texas. Just last week, 2 complaints were filed that had a total of 20 plaintiffs, and more lawsuits are expected to come forward. And just today, White House Press Secretary Jen Psaki aboard Air Force One saying that she and the Biden administration stand firmly behind all of these voting rights groups who are fighting SB 1.